help. One of my favorite Bible verses has always been Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, that says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways acknowledge Him and He will direct your paths, because our understanding wavers and it changes with our emotions, and it's never constant or the same, but we can lean into Jesus because He'll always be the same. And so whenever we begin to feel like things are maybe spinning out of control, or we don't know how to minister to somebody, we lean into Jesus and say, Jesus, help me to have the right answers during this time, because I know I can trust you because you don't change. But have I always applied that verse to my life? Probably not, but I tried to. And whenever I feel myself thinking, I can't do this, Lord, then I'm reminded of the verses that I've read, and they come back to help you in times of hard difficulties, making decisions. I mean, I think my story is, my mother was a very godly woman, and me and my siblings have all been grateful for her always. Our dad went to church as well, but mother was just the epitome of loving and serving Jesus. And so she just exemplified that to us in our home all the time from the time we were a little bitty. I mean, I probably started going to church when I was about a week old. I gave my heart to the Lord when I was about 6 years old, and I have loved Him all my life. Haven't always gotten everything right, but I have always loved Jesus, and I've always wanted to serve Him. I've always loved going to church. I've always loved telling people how good God is. Oh, I've been doing ministry in the church since I was probably 16.
Wow.
I started teaching kids when I was about 16 years old. And every time the doors were open, we were there, because nothing kept you from being in church. Even when we were in school and activities would come up, and there'd be a football game or something, we were in the pep rally, and our pep rally teacher had said, you can't miss a football game or you'll be out of the pep rally. And we had a revival come up, and Daddy said, I don't care about your football game. You're going to church with us. So, we went back to the teacher, me and my sister, and said, we have a revival this week. And she said, then y'all go to church, because she knew our dad, and she knew that we would be in church if the doors were open, and we were never penalized for missing the football game. Wow. Because she knew how important church was. When I was growing up, I think it was a little easier as far as putting Jesus first in our lives, because everybody kind of supported that. Yeah. So we didn't have that pushback that a lot of kids have today, which breaks my heart for them. Mm. Do I believe Jesus can help them to still stand strong today? And absolutely, because He gives us the power that we need, and He knows when we're all going to be here on this earth and help us through whatever situation we find ourselves in. I came home from Bible college single, and I was like, well, now what? I don't know what to do with myself. And I went to work out at the nuclear power plant to try to finish paying off my college debt. And I met Marty at the nuclear power plant. And I've felt bad for people that never had the opportunity to hear about Jesus, because it honestly has shocked me to find out that there are people living here in America today that have never heard about Jesus. I was shocked, because I thought, how could that happen living here in America? So it makes me sad that there's people that have grown up in a home that no one's ever shared the love of Jesus with them. It makes my heart hurt to know that they never had an opportunity to know a Savior that loves them and that wants to change their lives. Love of people in the world is very conditional. Yeah. It depends on what you do for me as to how I relate to you, and so but the love of Jesus is completely unconditional, and He never changes, and I'm grateful for that, because sometimes in our lives, we have things going on that we kind of want Jesus to change. We say, Jesus, would you do this for me, even though it's never been something He's done before. But truthfully, the fact that He doesn't change is what makes Him so wonderful, because He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. And so He's the one constant in our lives that we can always depend on.